It was a normal Tuesday morning when the world changed forever. The sun rose as usual, painting the sky with soft oranges and pinks. People woke up, made coffee, and checked their phones. But today, their screens showed something no one had ever seen before. A massive alien fleet hung in the sky, visible from every corner of the Earth. The ships were huge, dark, and shaped like arrowheads. They blocked out the sun in many places, casting long shadows over cities and fields alike. At first, people thought it was a joke or a movie promotion. But as the minutes ticked by and more videos appeared online, the truth sank in. We were not alone in the universe, and our visitors didn't look friendly. Panic spread quickly. In New York, people ran out of their offices, staring up at the sky with open mouths. In Tokyo, crowds gathered in the streets, pointing and taking pictures. In small towns and big cities alike, the story was the same. Fear, wonder, and confusion mixed together as humanity faced its greatest moment. World leaders scrambled to respond. The United Nations called an emergency meeting. Military bases around the world went on high alert, their weapons aimed at the sky. But against such advanced technology, would Earth's defenses mean anything? As the world held its breath, waiting for the aliens to make a move, a message appeared on every screen on the planet. The words were in perfect English, and they chilled everyone who read them. People of Earth, we are the Galactic Empire. Your planet is now under our control. Surrender immediately, or face destruction. The message was short, but its meaning was clear. The aliens didn't come in peace. They came to conquer. In a secret lab deep underground, Dr. Sarah Chen watched the events unfold on multiple screens. She was a brilliant scientist who had been studying the possibility of alien life for years. Now, her theories were proved right in the most dramatic way possible. But Sarah wasn't just watching. She was working. Her fingers flew over her keyboard as she analyzed data coming in from sensors around the world. There was something odd about the alien ships, something that didn't make sense. Suddenly, her eyes widened. "That's it," she shouted, startling her assistants. Sarah had found a pattern in the energy readings from the alien fleet. It was subtle, easy to miss, but it pointed to a weakness in their technology. As governments around the world tried to decide how to respond to the alien threat, Sarah knew she had to act fast. This information could change everything. But how could she, a scientist unknown to most of the world, get the attention of those in power? Sarah grabbed her phone and dialed a number she never thought she'd use. It was a direct line to the president's science advisor, given to her years ago, just in case. Well, if this wasn't a case for it, nothing was. "This is Dr. Sarah Chen," she said when someone answered. "I have critical information about the alien fleet. You need to listen to me right now." While Sarah fought to be heard, the world continued to panic. Streets in major cities emptied as people rushed home to their families. Others formed long lines at stores, buying food and supplies for what they feared might be a long siege. In orbit, the alien ships remained silent and still. Their threat hung over the Earth like a storm cloud ready to burst. Humanity had faced many challenges in its history, but nothing like this. The next few hours would decide the fate of our entire species. As the UN meeting dragged on without a decision, as militaries around the world waited nervously for orders, and as ordinary people huddled with their loved ones, the stage was set. The greatest confrontation in human history was about to begin. And unknown to the aliens, to most of humanity, and even to herself, Dr. Sarah Chen held the key that might just save us all. The only question was, would anyone listen to her in time? The United Nations building in New York was a beehive of activity. World leaders from every country had gathered for an emergency session. The usual arguments and political games were forgotten. Today, they faced a threat bigger than any single nation. Inside the main hall, the tension was thick. Leaders whispered to each other, their faces pale with worry. Some looked up at the ceiling, as if they could see the alien ships through the concrete and steel. The Secretary General called for order. "We must decide on a response to the Galactic Empire's demand," he said, his voice shaky. "The fate of our world depends on what we do next." As debates raged on, Dr. Sarah Chen waited outside the hall. She had flown to New York in a hurry after her discovery. Now, she hoped someone would listen to her. Her hand shook as she looked at her notes one more time. Suddenly, the doors opened. A tall man in a suit walked out. "Dr. Chen," he asked, "the council will hear you now." Sarah took a deep breath and walked in. The room fell silent as she approached the podium. Hundreds of eyes watched her. She cleared her throat and began to speak. "Distinguished leaders," she said, her voice growing stronger with each word, "I've discovered a critical weakness in the alien fleet's technology. Their ships emit a unique energy signature. This signature suggests their shields have a flaw we can exploit." Murmurs filled the room. Sarah continued, explaining her findings in simple terms. She showed graphs and data on the big screen. As she spoke, hope began to replace fear in the eyes of the world leaders. "If we can develop a weapon that targets this weakness," Sarah concluded, "we might have a chance against the Galactic Empire." The room exploded into discussion. Military leaders huddled together, talking excitedly. Scientists scribbled notes. For the first time since the aliens arrived, there was a glimmer of hope. But one question remained: how to respond to the Empire's demand for surrender. After hours of debate, a plan was formed. Earth would send a message back to the aliens. But it wouldn't be a surrender. It would be a warning. The leaders turned to Dr. Chen. "You found this weakness," the U.S. president said. "We think you should deliver our message." Sarah's eyes widened. She hadn't expected this, but she nodded, understanding the importance of the moment. She was taken to a special communication room. Technicians worked fast to establish a link with the alien fleet. Sarah stood before a camera, her heart pounding. The red light came on. She was live, broadcasting to the stars. "To the Galactic Empire," Sarah said, her voice clear and strong. "We, the people of Earth, have received your message. Here is our response. We will not surrender. We stand united against your threat, and we issue this single warning: leave our planet in peace or face the consequences of your actions." She paused, then added, "We know more about you than you might think. Underestimate us at your own risk." The broadcast ended. Sarah let out a breath she didn't know she was holding. Around her, people cheered and patted her back. But the real test was yet to come. Up in space, the alien ships received the message. At first, there was no response. Minutes ticked by, feeling like hours. Then suddenly, the alien ships began to move. They shifted positions, spreading out around the Earth. It seemed they were preparing for something. On the ground, military forces went on high alert. Weapons were aimed at the sky. In secret bases around the world, scientists and engineers worked frantically to develop a defense based on Dr. Chen's discovery. The whole world held its breath, waiting to see what would happen next. Would the aliens attack? Would Earth's warning be enough to make them think twice? As night fell across the planet, the alien ships glowed in the darkness. They were a constant reminder of the danger hanging over humanity. But now, thanks to Dr. Chen's discovery and Earth's bold response, there was also a spark of defiance. The next move belonged to the Galactic Empire, and the fate of Earth hung in the balance. As the world waited for the Galactic Empire's response, a secret as old as the Cold War was about to be revealed. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a hidden base known only to a few, General Marcus Steele prepared to show Dr. Sarah Chen humanity's greatest secret. "Dr. Chen," General Steele said, leading her down a long corridor, "what I'm about to show you has been hidden from the public for decades. It's time you knew the truth." Sarah's mind raced with possibilities. What could be so secret that it had been kept hidden, even in the face of alien invasion? They reached a massive steel door. The general pressed his hand against a scanner, and the door slowly opened. Sarah's jaw dropped as they stepped inside. The room was enormous, filled with technology beyond anything she had ever seen. Sleek ships that looked nothing like traditional Earth aircraft, weapons that seemed to glow with strange energy, and at the center, a massive holographic display of the solar system. "Welcome," the general said, "to Project Safeguard." Over the next hour, Sarah learned the incredible truth. For nearly 50 years, governments around the world had been secretly preparing for this very moment. It all started in 1947 with the Roswell incident, which, as it turned out, really was a crashed alien ship. Since then, a secret global network of scientists and engineers had been reverse engineering the alien technology. They made breakthrough after breakthrough, but kept everything hidden to avoid panic and to maintain the element of surprise if Earth was ever attacked. But why keep it secret even now? Sarah asked, still in shock. "Because," the general replied, "we needed to see how the aliens would react to a seemingly defenseless Earth. Their overconfidence is our advantage." As if on cue, alarms began to blare. The holographic display zoomed in on Earth orbit, showing the alien fleet beginning to move into attack position. "Looks like they've made their choice," the general said grimly. "Dr. Chen, we need your help to fine-tune our defenses based on your discovery." Sarah nodded, determination replacing her shock. She was led to a room full of Earth's top scientists, all working frantically on various projects. For the next few hours, Sarah worked harder than she ever had before. She applied her knowledge of the alien energy signatures to help calibrate Earth's secret shield technology. It was like a global version of an electromagnetic pulse, designed to disrupt the alien ship systems. As they worked, reports came in from around the world. The alien fleet had begun its attack. Cities were being bombarded from orbit. Panic spread as people realized this might be the end. But in secret bases around the globe, humanity prepared its surprise. Just as the situation seemed darkest, General Steele gave the order. "Activate Project Safeguard." Now. Sarah held her breath as the command was relayed around the world. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then suddenly, a shimmering field of energy began to spread across the sky. It started from multiple points around the globe, expanding and merging until it covered the entire planet. The alien weapons fire hit the shield and dissipated harmlessly. In orbit, the Galactic Empire's ships suddenly found their systems malfunctioning, just as Sarah had predicted. On screens around the world, people watched in awe as the shield protected them. Cheers erupted in cities and towns everywhere as hope replaced fear. But this was just the beginning. As the alien fleet reeled from the surprise, hidden bases around Earth opened. Squadrons of advanced human ships, built with reverse-engineered technology, launched into the sky. For the first time, the Galactic Empire faced real opposition. The battle for Earth had truly begun. In the command center, Sarah watched the unfolding space battle with a mix of fear and pride. Humanity had kept this secret for so long, preparing for this very moment. Now, everything depended on whether it would be enough. As Earth's ships engaged the alien fleet, Sarah turned back to her work. The shield was holding for now, but the real test was yet to come. Humanity had surprised the Galactic Empire once. Now they needed to press their advantage. The future of Earth hung in the balance, and Sarah knew her work was far from over. But for the first time since the aliens arrived, she felt something new. Hope. The space around Earth was alive with flashes of light. Human ships, hidden for decades, now danced between the stars. They were smaller than the alien vessels, but moved with incredible speed and grace. In the command center, Dr. Sarah Chen watched the battle unfold. Beside her, General Steele barked orders into a microphone. The room buzzed with activity as officers and scientists worked together to coordinate Earth's defense. Squadron Alpha, engage the enemy cruiser at Sector 7, the general commanded. On the big screen, a group of Earth fighters swooped towards a massive alien ship. They fired strange, pulsing weapons that cut through the alien shields like they weren't even there. Sarah's discovery about the alien energy signatures had been the key. Earth's weapons were specifically tuned to exploit this weakness. The Galactic Empire, confident in their superior technology, never saw it coming. But the aliens weren't giving up easily. They regrouped and launched a massive counterattack. Thousands of fighter ships poured out of the larger vessels, swarming towards Earth. "They're trying to overwhelm us with numbers," Sarah said, studying the tactical display. General Steele nodded grimly. "Then it's time for Phase 2. Dr. Chen, are you ready?" Sarah took a deep breath and nodded. She had been working on this plan for hours, and now it was time to put it into action. She stepped up to a control panel and began typing rapidly. Across the Earth, hidden satellites activated. They began broadcasting a signal based on Sarah's research. As the alien fighters approached, their systems suddenly went haywire. Hundreds of ships veered off course, crashing into each other or spinning harmlessly into space. The humans pressed their advantage. Earth ships, piloted by the best pilots from every nation, engaged the confused alien fleet. They fought with a mixture of skill and desperate courage, knowing the fate of their world hung in the balance. In orbit, the massive alien cruisers tried to regroup, but they were met by another surprise. From hidden bases on the Moon and Mars, secretly established years ago, more human ships appeared. They attacked the alien fleet from behind, catching them in a deadly crossfire. The battle raged for hours. Sarah worked tirelessly, adjusting the disruptive signal as the aliens tried to adapt. General Steele coordinated the global defense, his eyes never leaving the tactical display. Slowly but surely, the tide began to turn. More and more alien ships fell to Earth's surprising defenses. The Galactic Empire, for the first time in perhaps centuries, found itself on the losing side of a battle. As the fighting reached its peak, a new signal came in. The largest alien ship, presumably carrying the fleet's commander, was trying to retreat. It was a moment of victory, but also danger. "If they escape, they'll come back with reinforcements," Sarah warned. General Steele nodded. "Then we don't let them escape. All ships, focus fire on the enemy command vessel." Every human ship in range turned their weapons on the fleeing alien craft. Under the combined assault, even its mighty shields buckled. In a spectacular explosion, the alien command ship was destroyed. A cheer went up in the command center. On screens around the world, people watched in awe as the alien fleet began to retreat. Humanity had won its first battle against the Galactic Empire. But Sarah didn't join in the celebration. She was already looking at the long-range scans, her face serious. "General," she said, "I'm picking up signals from the edge of the solar system. More alien ships are coming." The room fell silent. The battle was won, but the war was far from over. General Steele straightened his uniform. "All right, people, you heard Dr. Chen. We've bloodied their nose, but now the real fight begins. Let's show these aliens why they should never have underestimated Earth." As the command center burst into action again, Sarah returned to her station. They had surprised the Galactic Empire once. Now they needed to do it again, and again, until Earth was truly safe. The counterattack had been successful, but it was only the beginning. Humanity had proven itself a force to be reckoned with among the stars. Now, they had to live up to that promise. As she worked, Sarah allowed herself a small smile. Against all odds, humanity had stood up to the greatest power in the galaxy. Whatever came next, Earth would face it together. 3 days after Earth's surprising victory, an alien ship appeared near the moon. It was smaller than the warships and flew a white flag, the universal sign of peace. In the United Nations building in New York, world leaders gathered again. This time, they weren't panicking. They were preparing to meet the aliens face to face. Dr. Sarah Chen stood nervously beside General Steele. They had been chosen to represent Earth in this historic meeting. Sarah fidgeted with her jacket, wondering what the aliens would be like up close. A bright light filled the room, and 3 alien figures appeared. They were tall and thin, with blue skin and large dark eyes. The lead alien stepped forward, and spoke in perfect English. "I am Ambassador Zix of the Galactic Empire," it said. "We underestimated your species. We wish to talk." General Steele nodded firmly. "We're listening." What followed was the strangest diplomatic meeting in Earth's history. The aliens, it turned out, had ruled the galaxy for thousands of years. They had never faced a serious challenge until now. "Your technology," Ambassador Zix said, looking at Sarah. "It should not be possible. How did you develop it?" Sarah smiled proudly. "We've been preparing for this day for a long time. Humanity is more capable than you thought." The aliens seemed unsure how to handle this. They were used to dealing with scared, primitive species. But humans were different. We had fought back. And won. As the talks went on, it became clear that the Galactic Empire wasn't ready to give up on Earth. They offered to make humans a protected species in their empire. General Steele's eyes narrowed. "And if we refuse?" Ambassador Zix's voice turned cold. "Then the next fleet we send will not be so easy to defeat." The room tensed. It was a threat, plain and simple. But Earth wasn't backing down. "We've seen what your best can do," Sarah said boldly. "And we beat them. Maybe it's time for the Empire to reconsider its policies." The aliens were shocked by her words. No one had ever spoken to them like this before. They huddled together, whispering in their strange language. Meanwhile, Sarah's mind was racing. She had an idea. A crazy, dangerous idea. She leaned over to General Steele and whispered quickly in his ear. His eyes widened, but he nodded. Sarah stepped forward. "Ambassador Zix," she said, "we have a counteroffer." She laid out her plan. Earth would share some of its technology with the Empire. In return, the Empire would recognize Earth as an independent equal power. "Impossible," Zix sputtered. "You are just one planet. The Empire spans galaxies. A planet that beat your best fleet," General Steele reminded them. "Imagine what we could do as allies instead of enemies." The aliens were quiet for a long time. Finally, Ambassador Zix spoke. "We will need to discuss this with our leaders." As the aliens prepared to leave, Sarah felt a mix of hope and worry. Had she just changed the future of Earth and the galaxy? After the aliens left, the room burst into argument. Some leaders thought Sarah's offer was too risky. Others saw it as their best chance for peace. But as they debated, something unexpected happened. Messages started coming in from across the galaxy. Other alien races, long oppressed by the Empire, had heard about Earth's victory. They were inspired. Some were even rebelling. Sarah watched the reports come in with growing excitement. Earth hadn't just defended itself. It had sparked hope across the stars. In a quiet moment, General Steele came to stand beside her. "You've started something big, Dr. Chen," he said softly. Sarah nodded, her eyes on the stars visible through the window. "I just hope we're ready for what comes next." As night fell over New York, the world waited anxiously for the Empire's response. But whatever came, one thing was clear. Humanity had earned its place among the stars. The galaxy would never be the same again. A month had passed since the diplomatic meeting. Earth had been busy. Under Dr. Sarah Chen's guidance, defenses were strengthened. Every nation contributed their best scientists and resources. The planet was ready for anything, or so they thought. One quiet afternoon, alarms blared across the globe. The long-range scanners picked up a massive fleet entering the solar system. The Galactic Empire had made its decision, and it wasn't in humanity's favor. In the command center, General Steele's face was grim. "They've brought everything they have," he said, looking at the screens. Thousands of ships filled the display, more than Earth had ever seen. Sarah's heart raced, but her voice was steady. "Then we'll give them everything we've got." The order went out. All around the world, hidden bases activated. Ships launched from Earth, the Moon, and Mars. The orbital defense platforms, perfected over the last month, hummed to life. As the alien armada approached, Humanity unleashed its full might. Advanced fighters swarmed out to meet the enemy. Powerful energy weapons, based on Sarah's breakthroughs, fired from the ground and orbital stations. The battle was unlike anything the solar system had ever seen. Explosions lit up space like new stars being born. Earth ships danced between enemy fire, their pilots showing skill that amazed even the aliens. But the Empire's numbers were overwhelming. Slowly, they pushed closer to Earth. The planetary shield was holding, but for how long? In the command center, Sarah worked frantically. She had been developing a new weapon, one that could turn the tide. But it wasn't ready yet. "We need more time," she shouted over the noise of battle reports. General Steele nodded. "You'll get it. All ships, initiate Operation Firewall." Earth's fleet suddenly pulled back. The aliens, surprised, slowed their advance. Then, from hidden positions in the asteroid belt, a new wave of human ships appeared. They were massive, almost as big as the Empire's largest vessels. Dreadnoughts, Sarah breathed. Earth's secret weapons, built from technology from the Roswell ship, were finally revealed. The massive Earth ships engaged the alien fleet. Their weapons cut through enemy defenses like they were paper. For a moment, it seemed like the tide was turning. But the Empire had one last, terrible trick. Their flagship, a ship larger than a city, moved into position. It charged up a weapon that made Sarah's blood run cold. If it fired, Earth's shield wouldn't stand a chance. "Now or never," Sarah muttered. She activated her experimental device. It was a risk, but they were out of options. A pulse of energy shot out from Earth, expanding rapidly. As it washed over the human fleet, their shields glowed brighter. But when it hit the alien ships, they began to falter. It worked. Sarah shouted. Her device had strengthened Earth's technology while disrupting the aliens. The balance of power had shifted in an instant. The human fleet pressed their advantage. The Empire's ships, their systems failing, began to fall one by one. Even their mighty flagship wasn't immune. In a desperate move, the alien commander ordered his fleet to ram Earth. If they couldn't have the planet, no one would. But humanity wasn't done surprising the galaxy. Hidden defense satellites activated, creating a web of energy that caught the alien ships. They struggled like flies in a spider's web. The final blow came from an unexpected source. Ships appeared from hyperspace, allies from other worlds inspired by Earth's resistance. They joined the attack, and the Empire's fleet was caught in a trap of its own making. Hours later, it was over. The greatest fleet the Empire had ever assembled was in ruins. Earth, against all odds, had won. As cheers erupted around her, Sarah looked out at the stars. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge and emerged victorious. But she knew this was just the beginning. The galaxy was changing. Earth was now a power to be reckoned with. And Sarah Chen, the scientist who had helped make it all possible, knew that the real work of building a new just galactic order was just beginning. As the sun rose on a new day, humanity looked to the stars not with fear, but with hope and determination. The future was theirs to shape. 5 years had passed since Earth's victory over the Galactic Empire. The planet that was once considered a backwater world was now at the center of a rapidly changing galaxy. Dr. Sarah Chen stood on the observation deck of Harmony Station, a massive space structure orbiting Earth. She watched as ships from 100 different worlds came and went. Each one represented a new ally, a new opportunity for humanity. "Quite a view, isn't it?" a voice said behind her. Sarah turned to see General Steele, now retired but still an important figure in Earth's new government. Sarah nodded, smiling. "Sometimes I still can't believe how much has changed." And indeed, the changes were massive. After the Empire's defeat, many oppressed worlds had turned to Earth for leadership. Humans, with their unique mix of innovation and determination, were seen as a fresh alternative to the Empire's tyranny. A new galactic council had been formed, with Earth playing a key role. The council chamber, located right here on Harmony Station, was where representatives from all allied worlds met to make decisions that affected billions of lives across the stars. Sarah's comm device beeped. It was time for the council meeting. As she walked with General Steele towards the chamber, they passed by groups of different alien species. Some looked almost human, others were wildly different. But all of them were working together, learning from each other. Ambassador Chen, a tall, reptilian alien, nodded respectfully as they passed. Sarah still wasn't used to her new title, but she returned the greeting warmly. Inside the council chamber, Sarah took her seat. The room was a marvel of technology and diplomacy. Holographic displays showed real-time data from across the galaxy. Translation devices ensured everyone could understand each other. The meeting began, and Sarah listened as representatives discussed everything from trade agreements to scientific cooperation. Earth's technology, combined with knowledge from other worlds, was solving problems that once seemed impossible. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Some former Empire worlds were resistant to change. There were still conflicts to resolve, injustices to right. The work of building a fair and peaceful galaxy was ongoing. As the meeting progressed, a familiar face appeared on the main screen. It was Zix, the former Empire ambassador who had once threatened Earth. Now, he spoke as the representative of a group of worlds seeking to join the new alliance. "We have seen the benefits of cooperation," Zix said, his tone humble. "We ask to join your council, to learn and contribute." The chamber buzzed with discussion. Sarah stood to speak. 5 years ago, we were enemies, she said. Today, we have a chance to be allies. Earth believes in second chances. We vote yes. The motion passed. As Zix's image faded, replaced by cheers and congratulations, Sarah felt a sense of pride. This was what Earth had fought for, not just survival, but the chance to make the galaxy a better place. After the meeting, Sarah returned to the observation deck. The view of Earth below never failed to move her. From up here, you couldn't see borders or divisions. It was just one beautiful blue world. A group of young aliens approached her, students from the new Galactic University. They asked eagerly about Earth's history, its culture, its ideas. Sarah spent time with them, sharing stories and answering questions. As the students left, filled with excitement about their studies, Sarah realized something. Earth hadn't just gained a place among the stars. It had become a beacon of hope, a symbol of what was possible when different peoples worked together. The future was still uncertain. There were still challenges to face, new frontiers to explore. But as Sarah looked out at the stars, she felt confident. Humanity had proven itself. Whatever came next, Earth would face it with courage, innovation, and an unwavering belief in a better future. The galaxy was vast and full of wonders. And now, at last, humanity was ready to explore it all.